So I'm in New York City today to check out where Brian Thompson was shot just a few days ago, actually. This is still very fresh. Shot right here in the back entrance of the Hilton. As of this video, that masked gunman has not been identified yet. This is kind of like the back entrance. It's not the main entrance. It's right by the parking garage. Some news here still. This is probably the craziest, most ironic part of it right here. Right above where he was shot. Isn't that wild? And for some places where some people live, that's a common sign, but in New York City, it's really not common at all. I've never seen one in New York City, at least. But that's the camera right there. And, you know, speaking of those cameras where they got that footage, there's cameras all over the place, even across the street here. I wonder if anything came up with that. I wonder if they were able to check them. I mean, it's New York City, so there's cameras everywhere, but we're very close. I wonder if they're not releasing that footage. If, in fact, he did go from the Hilton, shoot Thompson, and then come across to this alleyway, then these cameras here would have amazing footage of him. So I'm not really sure. Like I said, everything is kind of up in the air still. They say he escaped into an alleyway between 54th and 55th. The Hilton entrance is right in front of the screen there. So he made a hard left, came down here, I'm guessing, and said that he had stashed a bike in here. Now the other thing I want to point out is it would have been a little maybe too close for comfort for him, but right here, just beyond these benches with the bushes, those are all bike places to put your bike. So possibly could have been there, but that would have been very obvious right kind of where it happened. So this is likely the alleyway that they are talking about, which goes out to 55th. So it would have been very early in the morning. Clearly not many people around. He jumped on his e-bike and made for the park. I mean, the Central Park is very close. I'll show you. It's just a couple blocks away. So I'm filming this on Saturday night. So as of filming of this, they still don't know who that masked gunman is or was. But they have a pretty good idea of where he went from here. So I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to take you into the park where he escaped through the park on an e-bike, and then disappeared. I'm going to take you to the hostel as well, where he was believed to be staying for the past week or so. He came in, they think, about a week prior to this. Initially, it was thought that he was there for many hours, possibly as many as 24 hours, literally sitting there waiting for Brian Thompson. But now I think they believe that he only got there about 5 minutes before, so he definitely had some inside information about where he was going to be and when. It seems like everything was really thought out very well. Like I said before, they believe that he arrived possibly as much as 10 days prior to this. He came from Atlanta, the West 40th and 8th Port Authority bus terminal. That's where he came into the city. And then he stayed, I'm going to bring you to the hostel, but he stayed at a hostel up on 104th and Amsterdam Ave, which is pretty far up there. I'm going to probably have to ride a bike up there or something. There's footage of him exiting a subway station on 6th and 56th, which is very, very close to the Hilton. And then that's when he went into this Starbucks. And then around 6:45, that's when the gunman comes out of nowhere and shoots Thompson. So you can see the park from here. It's about maybe 3 blocks up, something like that. So by now, the shooter would have been riding an e-bike, probably right up this bike path. What's crazy is he definitely had a plan, because there are a lot of subway stops that he passed going towards the park. So he obviously knew exactly where he was going to be going, what he was going to be doing, because if this was spontaneous in any way, he would have just dipped. Woo! He would have just dipped in the subway at any number of these opportunities. And this is it. This is where 6th Ave comes in, meets Central Park, and likely road directly in this way. Which, green light, I will take the opportunity to take you in here. Now, the really important question is, do I get a hot dog while I'm here? I don't know. I got to think about that. Anyway. So from here, he could have gone anywhere. The park is huge. And yes, there are signs that say no riding, but this is, almost 7 o'clock in the morning. No one's really around. It's cold. He could have really gone anywhere, but it's likely that he continued along this road here. I thought they got rid of those horses. I guess not. Am I right? Wasn't there this whole thing a couple of years ago? One of the horses died while they was towing the carriage. I don't know. By the way, I believe that reward is now up to $50,000. I think initially it was $10,000, which was kind of a joke, but I guess it's raised from there. And there really isn't much love these days for these health insurance companies. And that may be just a coincidence, but this comes within just days of Blue Cross Blue Shield. Apparently, they had a plan to put limits on their coverage for anesthesia during surgeries. Like, what? And there was a lot of uproar about that, and apparently they have put a hold on that decision at this point. Of course, we don't know if that decision had anything to do with this. It could have been some disgruntled person. Maybe one of his family members was denied coverage. Maybe he was denied coverage. Maybe he's terminal. You never know. It just seems to be kind of a little coincidental with the timing. These guys chomping away here, living their lives. So we made it all the way up to 85th. From here, he rode up, or he walked up, or he rode up. Probably ditched the bike, and then apparently got into a cab around 86th in Columbia or something like that. That's what most people think. And then from there, who knows? Gone. So this apparently is the hostel where that gunman was staying. Apparently he stayed in a room with two other people, shared the room. I guess they have probably footage of him entering and certainly leaving that morning around 5 a.m. or something like that. This is a far distance from down on 54th Street or wherever that Hilton is. But he either took his e-bike or he took the subway. I'm not sure. It's a busy place and it's not cheap. It's like $200 and something a night. I mean, it's the middle of New York City, right near Central Park, so it's a nice area. But man, when you think hostel, you think, oh, it's like $10, $20. No, it's expensive. But it's all relative because probably the regular hotels around here are probably 3 times that. Alright, so I'm riding back down from up at the hostel, and I was going to take you down around to where the police found the backpack, but I realized it's going to be all dark. But it's like the center of the terrace of the water fountain, that area, that was all being searched by investigators, and that's where they found the backpack, which had Monopoly money in it, which is really strange, and also the jacket, apparently matching some of the photos or CCTV that they have of the shooter. They also recently recovered a discarded cell phone. It was like a burner phone, though, so I don't know how much information they'll get out of that, maybe DNA or something. But I just wanted to clarify a couple things. Thompson wasn't going to the Hilton Hotel, and he wasn't coming from the Hilton Hotel. He was on his way to an investor convention for his company, and he was passing the Hilton Hotel, and the shooter was basically lying in wait right there. So again, it's obvious that the shooter had that kind of information. He knew that Brian Thompson was going to be walking down the road. And also, at the scene, I forgot to tell you that at the scene, there were 6 bullet casings that were found. 3 of them were spent shells, so he fired three shots, and then 3 of them were still live rounds. And those 3 casings, those 3 rounds, were what had the deny, depose, and delay inscripted on them or written on them. So this, I believe, is the Starbucks that he stopped at just before going over to the Hilton. Apparently he bought a protein bar from there and a bottle of water, both have which been recovered by the investigators. So I guess they're going to have some DNA on that stuff. I think there's even a video clip of him discarding one of them into the trash on the side of the road. Alright, so this is the end of the video. I decided to not go with the hot dog, but I'm going to go with something a little healthier, but still has a New York kind of feel to it, a pretzel. So, hope you like this video. See you in the next one. Hey, can I get a pretzel? Nice.